Hello, friends. I'm gonna show you how I use the import users list file. I create the lists file in a spreadsheet, and I actually have to go in stages. So far I had 3 stages, and I got it to work with 3 stages, but I'm gonna try to do a 4th stage. So the first stage is stage 1, stage 01, and I'm gonna write down what each column means. So there's a total of 7 columns, and the colored columns, the columns colored light green and pink and light orange, those are the read write, read only, and access denied columns respectively. The last column, that blue gray, light blue gray, is the quotas that I want to give each user. So each line is a user, except I'm gonna, in the first stage, I'm only gonna use 2 users. Those are the two primary users. The rest of the users are going to be treated like shares or folders belonging to those 2 users. So the ones in yellow are the primary users for this first stage. So I have 2 primary users with their personal shares. So for example, Alvaro user has his personal share called Alvaro share, and Carlos user has a share called Carlos share. So that means that when either one wants to share something, they put it in the share the share that ends in _share, which is actually a user, but I don't want it to be used as a user. I want to deny access to anyone signing in as that user. See, those are the ones with the password EWI 2022 exclamation. I should change that password to no access or something like that. Anyway, even those passwords are not going to be handed out to those users, and if they were to get in by chance, they would be blocked anyway, because the column column F, as in Frank, the one that's light orange, it shows that those users 3 to 8, rows 3 to 8 are those users that are actually going to be used like shares or folders. And so even if they got the password, which is the same for all of them, they would be denied access, because the column F, the one that's light orange, is the column that says that that user is denied access to all those shares. So I put all the users, every one of those 8, it should be in column F. So I just copy pasted them all the way down. So they've been denied access. So the only users that will function like users are the top two that are in yellow. Those are the two primary users. The rest are not going to be used as users. They're going to be used as shares or folders. I know it's a little complicated, but I think it'll work. That way, the mission or the vision is that with one import users list, I'll be able to create users, their shares, and folders. They're going to be like group folders, and the shares to those group folders, that is. Those are the ones in green, light green, that is. On the left, on the column A, see the light green and the dark green. The light green are the folders, and the dark green are the shares that are going to be read only to all others, all other users. That would be. Maybe I should write down all other users. So I'm writing notes, and I'm color coding. So rows 1 through 8 is the actual file that's going to be imported. And below row 8, like rows 9 and below, those are just notes that I'm giving like a legend, like so. The yellow means the two primary users. The light green are folders that are private. They belong to the users, but they're private for them. Only they can see what's in there. And then the passwords that are colored dark brown, I'm saying that those passwords are not going to be given out. So I should put junk there. I don't know. Or I could put the word it doesn't matter anyway, because if anybody signed in to any of those shares or folders, they wouldn't see anything, because I'm going to specify, or I have specified in column F, the column on the far right that's colored light orange. I have specified that if they log in to that user, they won't be able to see anything, because they've been denied access to everything, to all 8 user shares. Okay, and so in the column that I'm writing into, I'm trying to say that this is the list of read-write shares, and they're accessible by the primary users. So read-write shares, that means that they can read and write to them. So Alvaro user can read and write to Alvaro user. and to Alvaro share, and to ops folder, and to ops share. Likewise, Carlos user can read and write to Carlos user, Carlos share. What's the other one? I can't read. Fin folder and fin share. So the reason why I call one pair of shares ops and the other pair fin is ops is operations and fin is finance. So I'm saying that one user, Alvaro, is going to manage the operations folders and shares, folder and share, while Carlos is going to manage the finance folder and share. And then in the pink column, I'm gonna say that those are the folders that are readable by everyone else. Okay, so I give permission for other people to read from those folders. So for example, Alvaro user, that's the first row, he's giving permission for Carlos to read. No, he's given permission to read from the share called Carlos share, and he's also given permission to read from fin share, finance. So that way Carlos can share with Alvaro something from finance that he wants Alvaro to see, but not edit. So that's why it's read only. And the same thing for the other, likewise. Carlos user gets to see Alvaro share and ops share. But in the far right, well, not so far right, but in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 column, that's column F, Carlos user is not allowed to read Alvaro user, nor is he allowed to read ops folder, that's operations folder. And in the opposite manner, Alvaro user is not allowed to read Carlos user nor finance folder. That's stated in the light orange in the first 2 rows. So I'm trying to explain what each column is below the column. So for example, I just wrote down that the pink column lists the read-only shares, and they are readable by all other users, and they are fully accessible by the user that is on that line. So there's only 2 users right now, Alvaro user and Carlos user. So Alvaro user is giving given permission to read Carlos share, while Carlos user is given permission to read Alvaro share. So he doesn't have to be given permission to read his own share, because that's already stated in the column D, in the light green column. In other words, Carlos gets permission to completely use read and write use Carlos user and Carlos share. And likewise, Alvaro has complete access to Alvaro user and Alvaro share, in addition to the ops pair. And I did mention that Carlos user also has the complete access to the finance folder and share. So I had to make sure that each column is not repeating itself. Like if I place a share in one column, I can't put it in another column. But it's interesting to note that the users after those first two users are not really going to be used as users. They're going to be used as shares. Because when you create a user, you create its share by the same name. So in order to prevent a user to gain access to anything, I state that he's not allowed to get into those listed shares or users. That's why column F, as in Frank, the one in light orange colored, is so wide for the rest of the users, because the rest of the users are really not going to be used as users. They're going to be used as shares. So I don't want those users to gain access to anything. So I block those users to everything, to all other shares and users and folders and everything. So if there's a total of 8 lines, then there should be 8 items in the column F for those that have been denied access to everything. I'm trying to explain for that light orange column what are the business rules for that column. So that column is called denied access, and I'm going to write down that a user is denied access to all other users. So for example, Alvaro user is denied access to the other users. Well, there's only one other user, so I have listed Carlos user for Alvaro user in that light orange column, in addition to fin folder, which is the finance folder. I don't want Alvaro to get into the finance department. That's the first line in column F. And then in a similar manner, but opposite to what I just said, Carlos user is being denied access to Alvaro user and the operations folder. That's the second row in the column F, as in Frank. And I'm just writing down reminders about that column. I'm saying that for the shares and folders, I want to deny access to themselves and to all other shares and folders, and users too, if there's any that are called users. That's why I put the suffix -user to the ones I want to have as users, or that were created from a user, because whenever you create a user, it automatically creates a share. So that's why in column D, it is colored light green, I state specifically that the first user gets access to himself. In other words, Alvaro user gets access to Alvaro user and gets access to Alvaro share. That one was created separately as another user, but I gave it the name Alvaro _share. But since it's a share, I don't want a user to treat it like a user, and so that's why I I gave it a dumb password, some kind of password, but I'm not gonna hand it out. But if someone happened to sign in with by knowing that password, according to this file, according to specification on column F, that entry into the information would result in no information, because all the shares and folders are denied access. And even users are denied access. So I can look at column F and see that there's how many items? There's 8. There's Alvaro user, colors user, Alvaro share, color share, fin folder, ops folder, fin share, and ops share. That's a total of 8. And then if you look from row 1 through 8, that's how big this file is gonna be, 1 through 8. Okay, and now I'm showing the last column and trying to select colors for it. Let's select the lighter color. So those first 2 items, I'm saying that I want those first 2 users. They're the only users, really. I call them primary users. Each primary user is gonna get 20,000 megabytes. That's why there's the number 20000. That represents 20 megabytes, or that's the same as 20 gigabytes, but that's through trial and error, I figured out that you have to write it that way. And it's contrary to what's documented. But that's the only way I got it to work. You can try it yourself and you'll find out, unless my device is defective or for some reason that I doubt it, that I've updated it to the latest software, the latest or firmware, the operating system, OS 5 of MyCloud. And this file that that I've already tried it and it worked. I'm gonna when I import it, the top 8 lines, when I import the top 8 lines and 7 columns, I copy and paste them into a text file, and when I do that, the columns are separated by tabs, and I save it as a text file, and then I go into the dashboard and upload it, and you'll see what happens. That I'm going to do that for the stage 4 file. I'm just labeling what each column is for stage 1, and I'm going to do the same thing for stage 2. I'm going to copy and paste pretty much the same information, right? Then we have to adjust columns. Yeah, this one needs to get wider because the word got clipped there, or there. Now you can read it. Okay. Now